Day 2 of preliminary hearings are underway for the murder investigation trial of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Last time, it was a whole lot of just like the lead up, some of the things that he bought that are putting two and two together. Understand that this preliminary hearings are being held right now to see if David is going to trial. So this isn't even about, this is just about, is he simply going to trial, let alone, you know, is he going to be guilty, anything like that? This is about, is he going to trial? So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So a lot of the testimony in the morning was a whole lot of arguing some legal stuff, you know, some behind the scenes background paperwork stuff. Then the other part of it was them talking about his finances, and basically they wanted to prove like he had something to lose. So had Celeste come out there and told that they was in an inappropriate relationship due to age, that he had a lot to lose, and that would be cause for him to unalive her. So that's where we're at. So let's get into it. So the prosecutors again are continuing to build their case that David murdered 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And we got back to that. We got back to the physical evidence. So before the testimony resumed Tuesday afternoon, the court addressed a pair of slightly awkward procedural disputes. Like I said, a whole bunch of random, you know, they do that stuff, try and put a little wrench in there in case there has to be a retrial or anything like that. So that's how everybody just trying to come to the court, throw little wrenches in there, try and get some procedural errors in order to make sure that they can protect their client. That's what's going on here. A lot of it was because now, and this is a big thing for me. Some of this, there's a civil attorney that's actually representing, Celeste's parents. So he's tripping about like, I can't use my laptop to take notes, stuff like that. But they was like, nah, we good. And then they had some other ones where they had an argument between attorneys over access to the prosecution's exhibits. The prosecutor, Beth Silverman, told the court that she wanted to photograph several exhibits during an afternoon break, but she had been told she could not do so. So the defense attorney, Blair Berk, responded that she had planned to make court-ordered redactions to certain exhibits before allowing additional access. Silverman immediately jumped, telling the court that that was not true, and began shaking her head. The judge intervened, noting that the two attorneys had recently tried another case against one another and suggested their history may have something to do with the ongoing friction that they got. So we got this beef and this defense between the defense and the prosecutor. And keep in mind that a lot of David's the lawyer's stance is really, again, just trying to throw a little like, hey, we was beefing, so we need that's a mistrial, you know, stuff like that. That's why they do things like that. So when testimony resumed, Murillo walked the court through additional photographs documenting the forensic processing of David's Tesla. She testified investigators found multiple air fresheners tucked into the rear door pockets, while additional photos showed extensive insect activity inside the front truck. We talked about that, the front. We talked about that. It was maggots at different ages of their life cycle, if you will. So from maggot eggs and there's a lot going on. Dense masses of maggots inside the front. Murillo explained that investigators tested portions of the vehicle using phenylephrine, presumptive blood test, and later applied Blue Star, a chemical enhancement similar to luminol used to detect possible traces of blood. So photographers showing photographs showing several areas in the rear cargo trunk marked with yellow evidence placards after reddish stains were identified. Before and after Blue Star images were also shown from the trunk and third row seating area, where Silverman suggested Celeste may have been placed at some point inside the vehicle. Murillo further testified that investigators recovered a USB flash drive or memory stick from the Tesla's glove compartment, which LAPD got that. On cross-examination, defense attorney Blair Burke focused on the handling and processing of the vehicle before Murillo's arrival. Murillo acknowledged she responded on September 9, 2025, after being briefed by detectives that a body had already been discovered and understood the Tesla had been examined the previous day. She testified the vehicle's front trunk was closed when she began her examination and said detectives donned gloves before coming into contact with the vehicle. Berk also questioned a handwritten correction on the forensic request form, though Murillo said she did not know when it had been made. So when Murillo confirmed investigators did not perform the phenylephrine testing on the vehicle's exterior, she explained she did swab portions of the front of the Tesla for potential touch DNA after observing disturbances in the dust. So now David's attorneys are trying to, in a sense, again, strum up like, hey, this investigation was not done properly. It was not handled correctly. The evidence was not preserved how it was supposed to. A lot of tampering, if you will. So Berk also pointed to areas investigators chose not to test, eliciting testimony from Murillo that neither the interior nor exterior of the vehicle's rear trunk was swabbed or chemically tested. Berk also pointed out that the reddish stains identified during the examination produced only presumptive positive results for blood. Presumptive. So using little words like that, he didn't say, hey, this is straight up presumptive. Murillo agreed that a presumptive test does not conclusively establish blood and said that the lab analysis will be required to confirm. And he said, and you cannot determine when the reddish stains were placed there or who placed the stains there. Murillo said, we cannot. Throwing a wrench in it. Berk also questioned whether some of the forensic photographs shown to the court have been digitally altered. Pointing to one exhibit, she asked Murillo whether it had been photoshopped or otherwise enhanced. Murillo testified the image had not been altered, but said any photographs that had undergone digital enhancement will be labeled accordingly. Berk concluded by asking whether Blue Star testing detected blood in the front passenger area of the Tesla. Murillo testified she could not confirm that from her own analysis and said determining whether additional blood was present fell outside the scope of her expertise. During redirect, Silverman confirmed with Murillo that if any photo enhancements were done, it's simply meant to improve visibility. Again, throwing a little wrench in it. These might be Photoshop. What you do? How did you alter these photos? It's fair. Murillo and Silverman agreed their photo documentation process is accurate, lab protocol, and used in crime labs across the country. Murillo also confirmed that Celeste DNA was also found presumptively. Prosecutors next called Lauren Wallace, an LAPD criminalist assigned to the field investigation unit, who testified she processed evidence recovered during the search of Davis Doheny Place residence. Wallace walked the court through additional forensic evidence collected from the garage, including a reddish stain on a Tesla charging cable that tested presumptively positive for the possible presence. It's a lot of possible, maybes, might be's. Wallace also testified that investigators documented 7 linear cuts in rubber floor mats recovered from the garage, describing the damage as being consistent with contact from a sharp object. Photographs of the cuts were shown along with several reddish stains visible on the mats. Wallace said she performed presumptive testing on those stains, collected samples from those that tested positive for the possible presence of blood for further laboratory analysis. So it's all presumptive, but we think this might be her blood, but we still need to send it to a lab to make it conclusive. Prosecutors also introduced photographs showing similar reddish stains on a rowing machine inside the garage, which she documented and tested as part of the forensic examination. So the court was then shown Blue Star photographs of rubber floor mats near a rowing machine, where Wallace said the chemical enhancement produced a large area of bright blue luminescent, consistent with a reaction of possible blood. Similar luminescence was also observed on a brick garage floor beneath the mat, suggesting a possible blood-like substance may have seeped underneath. Wallace then testified that investigators recovered a garbage bag containing a cell phone, black fabric, and wipes with brown stains, with the latter testing presumptively positive for blood. The court was also shown photographs of 2 green tarps bearing several reddish stains that likewise produced presumptive positive results during the testing and reacted to Blue Star. Wallace also described examining an inflatable pool recovered from the garage. Although no possible stains were observed, she tested the pool, emitted a fresh laundry-like scent, and produced luminescence after Blue Star was applied. Investigators also found a rolled-up dryer sheet inside the pool, which was photographed and collected as evidence. Wallace also noted they were jagged, linear cuts in in the inflatable pool. So paint a picture that he might have did this thing in that pool of detaching her from the rest of her body. On cross, defense attorney Blair Burke focused on Wallace's evidence collection procedures and the possibility of contamination. Wallace testified that she wears fresh gloves when handling evidence and changes them between items to prevent the transfer of trace or touch DNA. Although she does not wear goggles, Wallace says she wears a face covering over her nose and mouth and follows protocols designed to minimize the risk of introducing foreign DNA. Burke also established that LAPD detectives Joshua Byers and Farrell were present during the search of David's Doheny Place residence, and that Wallace had been instructed to look for weapons or tools that may have been used in a possible dismemberment. Wallace acknowledged investigators were conducting a follow-up search connected to Burke's Tesla and understood David was considered a suspect at the time. Burke pointed out that Wallace did not separately document the original locations of the chainsaws beyond what was depicted in the crime scene photos. Wallace also confirmed that investigators did not collect the dryer sheet found inside the inflatable pool, leaving it in the garage after documenting it. So they're leaving stuff at the crib, but they took pictures of it to say it was there. Burke confirmed that none of the red stains that Wallace tested could be conclusively identified as blood-based solely on her field examination. Wallace agreed, testifying that her testing could establish only the possible presence of blood, with lab analysis required for the conclusive confirmation. So that's how day 2 pretty much went, arguing over, hey, he has a reason as to why he did this. He had a lot to lose. He spent money on her to go to London, like showing he makes a lot of money. So things coming out that he could possibly be someone that was in an inappropriate relationship with someone that is very much younger than him. That's the pink. They're setting motive. So that's motive. And the other part of it is procedural. So what David's attorney and all them is doing right now is trying to find little loopholes for later. Like, hey, there's no way that this conclusive that this happened. But see, that's where you prepare for trial. You prepare for trial by now you go to the lab and then you have an analyst come in there and they ask the analyst, how long have you been in this forensics? How long have you done this lab type of work? How many? So in your expert opinion, when we sent you these samples, what was it? It was blood. Now, the DNA, whose was it? It allegedly is going to be, you know what I'm saying? They'll say that's Celeste blood. So that was day 2. That was day 2. So a lot of preliminary stuff and a lot of like foreshadowing as to what we're going to see when we get into the courtroom for trial. So that's it. That's Unico Williams. Do you hear me with Unico Williams? We're doing a special recovering this David case to see what's going on. I got you every step of the way. I got you. So please make sure that you tune in. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'm with you right here. All the social media, I'm on all of them. So make sure you like and subscribe. Please give me comments on what you think so far after day 2. I holla. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Don't forget, every Thursday, the full podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and mama, I'm on Spotify. Overall 99 ENT bring you videos from Friday all the way to Friday. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Again, thank you so much.